Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am your teacher Simi Namer, and today I'm here again with a new lecture. I hope everything is going well with you and your family. Let's begin the lecture. This is my lecture number 16 for grade Prio, and today we have a geography class. We have already started unit number 2, which is about climate of Pakistan. In the previous lecture, we learned about the factors that can affect the temperature of Pakistan. From north to south, we have a huge variety or diversity in the climatic uh, atmosphere, or we can say the temperature. And this is because of few factors. The first factor is latitudinal effect, and I have told you that the position of area on the earth that actually determine the climate of a place. Like the near you are with the equator, obviously the area will be very hot. But as we go far away towards the pole, in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere, the temperature is decreasing. So the second is continental effect. Continental effect is like the areas that are unaffected by the maritime influence. I've told you that maritime influence are the sea breezes. So areas near the coast have always have moderate temperature, but areas away from the sea will have the continental effect. So in area near the sea will have moderate or pleasant temperature. Then is altitude and the temperature. There is a close connection of temperature and the altitude. Altitude is the height of a place. So as we are moving upwards on a high altitude, the temperature is decreasing because the air is less dense and the air is thinner, and there are less number of molecules in the air. So there are gases like greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane gas that can trap the heat. So because of the gravity of the earth, these gases are denser at the sea level or at the surface level, and when we are going to a high altitude, the temperature is that's why decreasing, because the air is thinner and the atmosphere is lighter. There are less number of gases, and there's less number of trapping of heat in on the higher altitude. Then is the cloud cover and temperature. I've told you that in daytime, cloud cover reduces the amount of heat by reflecting the heat back to the space, but in nighttime it traps the outgoing heat, and because of this, the cloudy nights are warm. So when these radiation, some of the radiation, you know that the sun are giving us the sun is giving us solar radiation, and about 45% of these radiations are absorbed by the earth, and 55% of these radiations are reflected back at the same time. The radiations that are absorbed are coming out of the earth when there is no incoming solar radiation. At that time, if the night is cloudy, so means that the clouds will prevent the solar radiation, or we can say this amount of heat. It will prevent them from going out of to the space. So that's why the cloudy nights are warmer than the clear nights. Then is the latitude and the angle of the sun. The sun rays don't fall at the same angle everywhere, and we know that. So, in the areas near the equator, especially, the sun rays are direct. But on the higher altitude, like we can say, not the altitude, but areas near the poles have received the indirect radiations of sun. So that's why there is a difference between the duration of the day and night. During summer, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and the northern areas of Pakistan absorb more heat because of high angle of sun. During winter, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, and the northern areas experience sun for shorter duration. That's why in these areas, uh, days are shorter and nights are longer. So today's topic is rainfall in Pakistan, and as you know, dear students, that Pakistan lies in the temperate zone. The climate is generally arid, characterized by hot summers and cool, or we can say cold winters, and a wide variation between extremes of temperature at given locations. So that's why there is little rainfall in Pakistan, mainly in plains. Rainfall is a term used to refer to water falling in drops after condensation of the atmospheric vapor. The term is also used to refer to the quantity of precipitation falling in an area within a given period of time. So, you know that most of the areas of Pakistan are arid and semi arid. Only in a few northern areas their humid conditions are found, and the rainfall as a whole decreases from the Himalayas towards the south of Pakistan. Pakistan receives rainfall from five different sources, and these are like monsoon winds, the western depressions, convectional currents, relief rainfall, and tropical cyclones. The word monsoon means a season. That's why these winds are seasonal winds, which blow during summer and winter. The summer winds are called southwest monsoons, and the winter winds are called northeast monsoons. The primary cause of monsoons is the difference between annual temperature trends over land and sea. This low pressure region sees continuous rise of moist wind from the sea surface to the upper layers of the atmosphere, where the cooling means the air can no longer hold so much moisture, resulting in precipitation. Southwest monsoons, they are mostly occurs in summer from the month of July till September in almost whole of Pakistan, excluding the western Balochistan, the Fata area, the Chitral area, and the Gilgit-Baltistan, because the Chitral and Gilgit-Baltistan are the rain shadow areas. Monsoon rains bring much awaited relief from the scorching summer heat, as nowadays we have the late summer monsoon rainfall. So, southwest monsoons are giant sea breezes which bring rainfall. The rains begin when the ocean are less heated and land is more heated. The air from the land rises, developing a low pressure, and it attracts the cool air, causing heavy rainfall. The southwestern summer monsoons occur from June through September. September. Northeast monsoon, like the northeast monsoons, blow from the land towards the sea. As I said, southeast monsoons um, are the winds that blow from sea towards land. That is summer monsoon. Summer monsoons are from the winds are from sea towards land, but the winter monsoons are um, that wind blow from land towards sea. During winter, a high pressure area is created over the Tropic of Cancer. I've told you the Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degrees north of the equator. Winds blow from land to sea, which is a low pressure area. You know that the winds are always blowing from high pressure area to low pressure area to fill the gaps or fill the vacuum between the air. So these winds are mostly dry and bring no significant change because they originate in a dry area. So when the wind originate in a dry area, there's no moisture in the air, so there will be no rainfall. The main monsoon winds blow from the Bay of Bengal after crossing Bangladesh and North India. The tail end of the wind enters northern Pakistan, and the wind normally start to blow in June and cause heavy rainfall in northern Punjab in July. Uh, mm, That's why there are like nowadays we have destructive rainfall, especially in the Karachi area. So since the monsoon comes into Pakistan from the eastern side, so the eastern part receive more rainfall in the monsoon. You can see in this map. The map shows that the eastern part of the Pakistan receive more rainfall. Even we can see at the border of India, because the Bay of Bengal comes across India, so it hits the eastern side of Pakistan. The main monsoon entered northern Punjab, while the secondary southern Punjab and Sindh. The highest rainfall during the monsoon season as received by Murray, that is 850 millimeter. The second source of rainfall in Pakistan is the Western Depressions. The Western Depression winds blow from the Mediterranean Sea in the winter, and these depressions are low air pressure system developed on the Mediterranean, passes through Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan, and enter Pakistan from the western side, causes rain in Pakistan from December to March. Since Pakistan is at tail end, brings light rainfall. The Western Depression entered Pakistan from the west after passing through Iran and Afghanistan. Most of their moisture is lost on their long land journey. Therefore, they bring a small amount of rainfall to Pakistan. In spite of this, the western parts of Pakistan or western highlands receive more rainfall from the Western Depression than from other sources. Because of Western Depression, northern Punjab and hilly areas of KPK or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and northern Balochistan receive 125 to 250 millimeter of rainfall. So Sindh is the driest area where in most parts the rainfall is less than 25 millimeter. Rainfall from Western Depression begins in December and continues up to March. So this is the figure that can show us the journey of the journey of the Western depressions. You can see you can see this is the Mediterranean Sea, and these are the Western Depression. These are the cyclones that originate in the Mediterranean Sea, and these winds travels through Turkey, then Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan, and enters in the western side of Pakistan. So as Pakistan receives the tail end of this Western Depression, so Pakistan receives little rainfall in the western side, like KPK and some of the areas. Another source is the convectional currents, and convectional rainfall is caused by convectional currents, especially in tropical areas. It occurs when the ground is heated by the sun and warm air rises, cools, and condenses to form clouds. So, at the start of summer, hot air rises up, which also contains a high moisture content. When it reaches the higher layer at the atmosphere, condensation takes place. This causes rainfall often as thunderstorms. Strong winds accompanying the storms may pick up the dust as well. So, convective precipitation occurs when air rises vertically through the self sustaining mechanism of convection. Precipitation occurs when large air masses rises diagonally as a large-scale atmospheric dynamics force them to move over each other. Convection currents cause some degree of rainfall in Pakistan during the summer months. This condensation results in rainfall in the northern and northwestern parts of Pakistan in the summer. The southern parts of Pakistan are deprived from convectional currents due to a temperature inversion there. Temperature inversion, which is also called as thermal inversion, this is a reversal of the normal behavior of temperature in the troposphere. Troposphere is the layer of this atmosphere where we live, in which a layer of cool air at the surface is overlain by a layer of warmer air. So convection currents only happens in the northern and northwest western parts of Pakistan. Another source of rainfall is the relief rainfall. Now, why we call it a relief rainfall? Because this rainfall comes due to the relief of the land. Relief means the height or the shape of the land. So, relief rainfall is related to the height of land. It occurs where moist, unstable air moves up a mountain or a scrap edge and it is chilled. This chilling causes heavy condensation and precipitation on the windward side. The lee slopes tend to receive sinking, warming air, and a dry rain shadow area may lie leeward of the barrier. So relief rain usually takes place around coastal areas where a fleet of hills runs along to the coast. When wet onshore wind from the sea meet a mountain, hill, and barrier, it is forced to rise along the slope and cools. When the air temperature falls to its dew point is like when the air receives the uh, moisture. Like the 100% and the capacity that it has when the air is fully saturated, so it reaches to its dew point. The water vapor condenses to form clouds, and when the clouds can no longer hold the water droplets, relief rain begins to fall on the windward slope of the mountain. So, relief rainfall is formed when the air cools as it rises over relief features. The air is forced with this relief to rise up. In the landscape such as hills or mountains, these are forcing the wind to rise up, and when the air rises, it cools, condenses, and form rains. That's why this is known as relief rainfall. Let me explain the diagram for the relief rainfall. You can see when the air, like the when the air you can see when the air rises. Here you can see like the moist air, the warmer or the moist air, that is when forced by this relief feature. The air is forced when the air hits the this relief feature, the hills or we can say the mountains. With this land feature, the air is forced to rise up. With the shape of this land, the air is forced to rise up, and when it is reaching to its dew point, here this is the dew point where the air is fully saturated, so the air condenses here and forms the clouds, and when it forms the cloud it starts precipitation on the windward side. This is the windward side because wind comes from this side. Now the other side will be the leeward side, and this side will be the now the rain shadow area. It will receive very little or almost we can say no rainfall at all. So cities like Murree and Kabul continually receive rainfall due to this, while Gilgit and Chitral do not receive as they fall in the rain shadow area. So Murree and Kakul is the area in Abbottabad. So all the areas of Hazara division, they receive heavy rain. So the last source of rainfall is the tropical cyclones. The tropical cyclones typically form over large bodies of relatively warm water. They derive their energy through the evaporation of water from the ocean surface, which ultimately recondenses into clouds and it rains when moist air rises and cools to saturation level. So, a tropical cyclone is a rapidly rotating storm system that characterized by a low pressure center, strong winds, and a spiral arrangement of thunderstorms that produce heavy rain can cause a lot of destruction. These tropical cyclones may bring a few hours of very heavy rainfall with destructive winds to the coastal areas of Pakistan. They originate over the Arabian Sea quite often, but only rarely do they reach to the coast of Pakistan, usually once every few years. Therefore, the source of rainfall is totally unreliable, both in terms of when and where on the coast it will occur in Pakistan. So we are done with all the sources of rainfall in Pakistan. Now here is your assignment. You have to do two questions today, and these are on page number 48. Question number 4 with the subparts like A, B, C, and D. D and E. And then question number 5 with the three subparts. You have to do both the questions with all their subparts from unit number 2, page number 48. And you have to do these questions in your notebook. Please do all the questions in a neat and tidy form, and uh, please maintain your index to make a margin line. Must write today's day and date. Thank you so much, dear students, for watching this video. I hope everything is clear now. Still, if you have any confusion, you can ask me through your comments. Drop your queries in the comment box. I'll definitely entertain all the questions, and we'll meet up again with another lecture with another topic. Please stay at home, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay healthy. So, till then, bye.